Tune in to Basement Talk. I'm your host, RizTheKing.
This is GeeRay coming out of St. Louis.
Basement Talk coming back at you. Your man RizTheKing with a few folks here.
G-Man, what's up?
Fresh DLoko the TruthTeller.
I'm lying and shit.
You can't trust them.
Well, I'm RizTheKing, the TruthTeller as well.
OAB.
Drew Brees put up crazy numbers to become the top quarterback in passing yards. Passing yards. Passed up all time. Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, everybody's passed up now by Drew Brees. Right. I always liked Drew Brees. He always super solid. I mean, he just, when you see him pass, every pass is, I always feel like it's going to connect.
Easily the most accurate.
And he actually is.
Of all time.
Of all time, also the most accurate.
So when you when we mention that name, what play, what do you think of?
But Drew Brees?
That Super Bowl that he won for New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina.
The second half, I don't think he missed the pass.
I think about that injury.
Oh, that arm when
I think about that.
Yeah, I think about that.
That was nasty. That's probably the nastiest injury I've ever seen.
It was like the arm came back over.
It was like a glitch in a video game. How his arm was all
struggling with Drew Brees, man. I respect his gangster. I respect his ability. But to me, when I think of quarterbacks all time, I ain't gonna fake the funk. I don't think of him as one of the first. Like his consistent, for me, Drew Brees is a lot like LeBron.
Okay.
He's well known for me for his consistency. If you draft Drew Brees in fantasy football, you pretty much know you're gonna get 4,000 to 5,000 yards and 30 touchdowns, 25 to 30 touchdowns.
He's that good,
because he does it every single year, especially since he's been with the Saints.
But even then, he don't always get drafted first.
No.
People that's the perfect word. He's an overlooked superstar quarterback.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that's because like when you have to discuss Drew Brees and like really you have to discuss his greatness, you're gonna have to put qualifiers in there, because if you really think about it, in his generation, in his era, you really probably going to name about 3 people before you get to Drew Brees. I mean, you're going to say Tom Brady was better. You're going to say Peyton Manning was better. And I don't know if you consider Aaron Rodgers to be part of his generation or not. You're going to say Aaron Rodgers is better. Yet he's superseded all of those records. Now, in last week, what did he get? Most completion percentage?
Yeah, no.
He got
completions, period.
Most completions period last week. That was last week.
Most completions
and the highest percentage.
Highest completion percentage. He's gonna retire with all 3 of those.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're still gonna name 3 quarterbacks that are better than him.
Yeah.
And that's because of the city he played in. Don't nobody really trip off New Orleans.
There was a horrible football.
That's before he got there. Yeah, that's before he got there. And then he's had a lot of years where he did good, but his team wasn't good. So he got some years where he didn't make the playoffs at all. So you kind of forget about him.
They had almost more years. They had some of them paper bag years.
The system. Some people will take away and say the system that he was running, where it was passing 3 downs for like more than half of his career. That's why he got them numbers. But they won't never give him.
And they took, what was it? It was a strong 3 years after the Bounty Gate, where they were just kind of like bad. It took about 3 years for them to recoup from Bounty Gate, 3 or 4.
I forgot about that.
Because Sean Payton was gone for a year, right? Sean Payton was gone for a year.
Greg Williams had to get kicked out.
He got kicked out. So it took them like a strong 3 years before they recovered from Bounty Gate.
Who was the coach?
And Brees didn't miss a step.
Brees was
good, but their defense was awful.
Yeah, their defense ain't never recovered.
Their defense was terrible after Bounty Gate. It was no good.
Really.
Right, so through turmoil.
Last year their defense was good.
I got a good question for y'all. Who was his best 2 wide receivers in his career?
Colston.
I'm about to say Colston.
No, Antonio Gates early.
But he was on the Chargers for 2 years.
Right.
They got fresh off the basketball court when he came.
They got live touchdowns.
They did, but I know what you're talking about for that, because they went to the playoffs a year. I remember
and Gates
and Brees.
They were getting busy for that year.
I do remember him throwing a lot of touchdowns to Gates, but he's been in the league for 16 years, so I can't say Gates. Colston, no doubt. Colston has a spot solidified.
That connection he had with Colston was incredible.
But who else?
Jimmy Graham. It's going to be Michael Thomas.
It might end up being Jimmy.
It's going to be Michael Thomas.
Right for now,
it's going to be Michael Thomas, and then he'll probably be number 2.
But he had
his numbers with Jimmy Graham got to be crazy,
dude, man.
Lance Moore.
Lance Moore. He had Joe Horn. Did he have
So
Joe
remember,
Horn?
yeah, remember they had
a little bit.
They had
Henderson.
that. They used to run that 5 wide receiver set.
Right, exactly.
When he had Costa, and then he had I can't remember. I think Joe Horn was still there for like a year or two.
then
They had Lance Moore. It was Jimmy Graham. There was like one more person.
Devery Henderson.
Devery Henderson,
Yeah.
and they used to run that.
And they used to get down the
And you
field.
can count Jimmy Graham as kind of like a wide receiver,
Yeah.
and that they used to run that, and they used to be carving cats.
Running backs,
Wide
they had
receiver.
Hold on,
had a
that was
lot of
Ted Ginn
speed.
early too, right?
No,
Ted Ginn went late. Yeah, he went there.
But they
But
put a
Ted
lot
Ginn
of-
wasn't there first.
No,
Then he
no,
went to
no,
San
no,
Francisco.
He was in Miami first.
Miami, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
Miami first.
Yeah, but that's what they used to do. They used to put so much speed on the field, and he would just pinpoint people to death.
Yeah.
Like the coach, the Colts Super Bowl, it wasn't the Colts that he beat.
Yeah, it's Colts.
So why is he not number one? Why nobody calls Drew Brees number one?
He don't have enough Super Bowls.
That's
I mean, that's really what's going to come down to.
Right.
Because he can't win the talent and he can't win the greatest winner. You're going to call, by the end of it, Tom Brady's going to be considered the greatest winner ever.
Well,
But Tom Brady
Super Bowl.
benefited, like you talk about the systems. Tom Brady benefited from a
Yes,
a
those
cheating
first
system.
three
But
Super
Nobody
Bowls.
counted against
Those first
Nobody
three
counted
Super
against
Bowls were based off
Nobody
Bill
counted.
Belichick's defense.
Pretty
Two
much.
and a half. Two and a half Super Bowls with
I
Bill
think it's
Belichick's
also
defense.
Brees doesn't have a signature play to me. I mean, he got a lot of big plays, but what's that? Like if we talk about Tom Brady, you could Randy Moss.
Yeah.
To the 50th touchdown.
And the one thing about
Right.
the Super Bowl, if you remember, he wasn't really that good.
It wasn't
in
a great
Super
one.
Bowl.
Drew Brees? What are you talking? No.
If you remember
the
that
whole
Super
second
Bowl,
half, he didn't miss a pass.
yeah, but he
How
didn't
do
really.
you go 20 for 20 in the second half and
I don't
come
remember
back
that
and win the game?
Remember,
But the biggest
remember
play
what
at
happened in the
Super
Super Bowl was the return from that terrible pass that
Porter.
Peyton Manning threw across his body.
That's what I remember
That
from that
Porter,
Super Bowl.
What?
Porter had
The
2
pick.
That's
interceptions.
because Peyton Manning in the last drive. You expecting Peyton Manning to do so
Right.
much.
But what you forget is Drew Brees just put them up the drive before that.
What was the score?
Drew
What
Brees
was the
scored.
final score of that Super Bowl?
I don't remember.
In
2017.
What
it was probably at 20 or
2014,
something.
2017.
Yeah.
2017 or 2014.
I remember Porter had 2 interceptions, and the last one was the one he took to the house.
When added Drew Brees, he only this tall.
Exactly.
So that's the qualifier I was talking about when we were
Right,
discussing
right.
him.
You know what I mean?
If they're going to add that qualifier to him because he's a lot smaller than those
He's way
guys.
smaller.
And I mean,
And
and
he
honestly,
ain't 6 feet.
he is going to suffer from I mean, it matters when you're talking about greatness on what your W's are.
It's W's.
And it's going to matter because Peyton Manning, how many years did he go without making the playoffs? He didn't have very many, maybe 2.
What you mean when he first started off?
I mean,
Yeah, I think
he
he
was
might-
got his career. He maybe
career.
had two or 3 years that they didn't make the
I think
playoffs.
it's really
Yeah.
two.
Tom
Yeah,
Brady,
probably
Tom
two.
Brady might have 1 or 2, and one of them was when he was injured.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers has made the playoffs every year pretty much since he's been
Except for years he get hurt.
rolling.
Right.
But Drew Brees got about 4 years
He
in
got
there.
years
why
where he puts
4 or
up
5 years in
Yeah,
there
that's
when they
why I
didn't make
said-
it.
He puts up 5,000 yards, 30 touchdowns.
but
and
his
he
team is
don't-
terrible.
and
And
that's
they're,
not
and
gonna-
they're 9-7 or 7-9.
Right.
But you credit that.
That's his
Who's been his
finish.
running backs?
Deuce
He started with
McAllister,
Deuce
Yeah, dude, I'm saying
Thompson,
they had
Reggie
Thomas,
Bush,
Reggie
Lance
Bush.
Thomason.
Reggie Bush.
When he had Reggie
man.
Bush, they went to Super Bowl.
It popped.
Yeah, they won with Reggie Bush.
They won Super Bowl.
And Reggie Bush was a game changer.
Yes,
Yeah, well,
for
When he
that
had
year.
a game changer at running back,
4
he
years.
goes to Super Bowl.
Well, I mean,
Well,
I
they went up
remember
to, they went up
being
to
good for 1
Chicago
year.
and got that L in that rookie year. Don't forget that.
Oh yeah.
They went up to my Bears and
Yeah.
got that L. That's the year we went to play
Super Bowl.
Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Was that was the Jay Cutler year when he was on the bike?
Nah,
No,
that
no,
was the
no.
Rex
Nah,
Grossman
that's
Rex
silly year.
Gross.
Oh, Rex Grossman. Yeah.
The silly Rex Grossman. Got that game to all
Rex
cookies.
Grossman.
But you know what? This leads the conversation to where I wanted it to go. Who are our top 3 quarterbacks all time?
Start it off. You want to kick it off?
Yeah, you can kick it.
Okay, I'm gonna go. Can't no list of quarterbacks be mentioned without saying Tom Brady's name. So I'm gonna go there with him. Tom Brady is qualifier. I'll put him at 3. 2 for me. I'm going Warren Moon, man. I loved Warren Moon's ability. He doesn't have a Super Bowl, but just the pure passes of the football. I loved his game and his ability. He got hated on a lot in the beginning of his career because he was a black quarterback. He didn't get drafted. He had to go up to the CFL, so he's 2.
Yeah.
Number 1 for me is Dan Marino, another guy who doesn't have a Super Bowl. But to me, in my opinion, the greatest pure passer of the football that I've ever seen. Even greater than Aaron, which I love Aaron to death, but I think if it's anybody else that was on that level or higher, it's Dan Marino.
So what is your criteria? Is this like
Yeah, he gonna who
is
you
this
like.
the most talent,
Or you-
or
who
is
you
this
like.
like just your favorite 3
Sure,
I
quarterbacks?
think
For
it's
me,
your favorite.
no, for me, it's the most talent. The most talented people that I have ever seen play quarterback, look at a defense, dissect the defense with their arm and with their mind.
I would be trying to look at this as if I was starting a team, who would be the 3 quarterbacks that I'll be starting my team with?